Photographer Nathan had been assigned to the rainforest to capture the birth of a baby sifaka lemur for a wildlife magazine. With coordinates in hand, he ventured deep into the bush, determined to secure the first photographs of the elusive infant lemur. But instead of finding the lemur troop, Nathan stumbled upon something far beyond his wildest imagination. As he cautiously navigated through the dense foliage, careful not to startle any wildlife, Nathan noticed something metallic glinting in the distance. Intrigued, he pushed aside a large leaf to get a better view. What he saw stopped him in his tracks. It was a submarine. At first, he thought it might be a downed aircraft, but as he drew closer, the truth became clear. The vessel, still partially submerged in a waterlogged area, looked as though it had been there for decades, swallowed by the jungle. Nathan's eyes fell upon a familiar marking etched into the submarine's side. His breath caught. It was a World War II insignia. How is this even possible? He whispered to himself, his mind racing. The discovery was so improbable that he doubted anyone would believe him, especially the local authorities. Determined to document the find, he began photographing the submarine from every angle, meticulously capturing details of its corroded exterior. As he circled the submarine, his gaze fell on a peculiar red smear near one of its hatches. His heart began to race. It looked unmistakably like blood. Nathan froze, refusing to jump to conclusions, but the sight sent a shiver down his spine. With his camera still in hand, he snapped several photos of the ominous mark before stepping back to assess the situation. Realizing the gravity of his discovery, Nathan decided to contact the local police. Unsurprisingly, they were skeptical about his claim of finding a World War II submarine in the middle of the rainforest. He quickly emailed them the photos, hoping the images would lend credibility to his story. Moments later, his phone rang. The officers on the line informed him that they were en route and instructed him to stay exactly where he was. By now, the sun was beginning to dip below the horizon, casting eerie shadows across the rainforest. Nathan couldn't shake the feeling that this discovery was only the beginning of something far more mysterious. As he waited for the authorities to arrive, he couldn't help but wonder about the submarine's history, how it had come to rest in such an unlikely place, and what secrets it might hold. Fortunately, Nathan had packed his tent, knowing he might not locate the Sifaka lemur troop in a single day. As night fell, he set up camp near the mysterious submarine, relying on freeze-dried food for dinner. Though he crawled into his sleeping bag and tried to rest, sleep proved elusive. The nocturnal rainforest came alive with strange noises, some of which didn't seem to belong to animals. At times, Nathan thought he heard footsteps near his tent or the sound of a metal door creaking open. His heart raced with unease, and his sleep was fitful, interrupted by every unfamiliar sound. When the first rays of sunlight pierced his tent, Nathan felt a wave of relief. He eagerly unzipped the tent to greet the morning, but froze when he turned to look at the submarine. The main hatch, previously sealed shut, was now wide open. His curiosity overwhelmed his caution, and he decided to investigate the interior before the police arrived. Nathan climbed aboard the submarine, stepping gingerly through the open hatch. He expected the air inside to be stale or musty, but to his astonishment, it was surprisingly fresh. This strange detail raised alarming questions. Could the submarine's life support systems still be functional? The surreal nature of the scene intensified as he ventured deeper into the vessel. With his camera in hand, Nathan began documenting the submarine's interior. His flashlight revealed eerie details: a control room frozen in time, dusty but intact control panels, scattered personal belongings, and silent, dimly lit hallways that seemed to stretch endlessly. Each click of his camera captured fragments of the mystery, preserving evidence for later examination. The experience was equal parts fascinating and unsettling. Suddenly, faint sounds from outside broke Nathan's focus. He paused, wondering if the police had finally arrived. Exiting the submarine cautiously, he was greeted by a sight that sent his stomach plummeting. Every officer on the scene had their guns pointed directly at him. "I'm Nathan, the one who called," he shouted, raising his hands in alarm. The officers, visibly irritated, lowered their weapons but made their displeasure clear. They chastised Nathan for entering the submarine before they arrived, explaining that his actions had compromised the scene by leaving his DNA all over the interior. Nathan couldn't argue with their reasoning. He understood their frustration but remained convinced that his decision to document the submarine's eerie secrets had been worth the risk. As the officers began securing the area, Nathan stepped back, his mind racing with unanswered questions about the submarine's presence, its pristine condition, and the strange noises that had haunted him throughout the night. As Nathan stepped out of the submarine, the police commander approached him with a firm expression. "You'll need to come with us to the station for questioning," he said. The officers quickly began their investigation, and what they uncovered inside the vessel deepened the mystery. Engraved into the submarine's walls were strange codes, intricate and unfamiliar. The characters bore no resemblance to any modern language or known encryption techniques. The glyphs, precise and deliberate, seemed to carry secrets from an era long past, begging to be deciphered. Each officer who examined them was left intrigued and baffled. In the submarine's central chamber, the team discovered maps adorned with cryptic symbols. These symbols, intertwined with what appeared to be geographical outlines, suggested hidden paths, uncharted territories, or even clandestine sea routes. Speculation swirled among the officers. Were these coded maps part of a secret World War II mission, or did they point to something far more enigmatic? The locations marked on the maps didn't align with any known coordinates, leaving the officers to wonder if they hinted at missions shrouded in secrecy. Efforts to decode the symbols proved futile at first. The mysterious markings defied traditional decryption methods, suggesting a complexity far beyond standard wartime encryption. Cryptographers, linguists, and historians were called in to unravel the codes, yet every failed attempt only added to the growing intrigue. The maps quickly became the centerpiece of the investigation as experts theorized that their symbols might unlock the answers to the submarine's extraordinary story. Forensic scientists, meanwhile, combed through the submarine's interior. What they found was even more startling. Among the rusted remains of a World War II-era vessel were sleek, modern components, technology that seemed decades ahead of its time. These advanced elements appeared incongruous against the submarine's aging, corroded exterior, raising unsettling questions. How had such modern features found their way into a vessel supposedly abandoned for decades? The discovery suggested the submarine had been used long after the end of World War II, possibly for covert operations conducted in total secrecy. The contrast between its historical shell and the sophisticated upgrades hinted at a timeline that extended far beyond its presumed decommissioning. This revelation pointed to activities that had been intentionally hidden, shrouding the submarine's true purpose in an even darker veil of mystery. As experts across disciplines worked tirelessly to uncover its secrets, the submarine stood as a testament to an enigmatic past, hinting at untold stories, uncharted missions, and a purpose that defied conventional understanding. Each new detail only deepened the puzzle, transforming the discovery into an international enigma that captivated and confounded everyone involved. The authorities were both alarmed and fascinated by the possibility that the submarine had played a role in covert post-war operations. The fusion of contemporary technology with an outdated military relic unveiled a tangled web of espionage and concealed motives. This revelation unsettled the investigative team, sparking intense debates among police and historians about the submarine's true origins and usage. The blend of old and new components challenged existing timelines and historical narratives, creating a chilling sense of unease. It felt as though the submarine, a relic of the past, had been altered by unseen forces of the present, its story rewritten in ways that defy conventional history. In the stark confines of an interrogation room, Nathan faced a barrage of questions. The police were visibly skeptical, their suspicion apparent in every pointed inquiry. The tension in the room was palpable, thickened by mistrust as Nathan struggled to assert his innocence. To counter their doubts, he produced photographic evidence, high-resolution images that captured the bizarre and enigmatic markings within the submarine. The photographs spoke volumes. They were undeniable proof of what Nathan had discovered, showcasing the intricate symbols etched into the vessel's walls. The haunting atmosphere of the submarine was preserved in each shot, adding credibility to Nathan's account and casting an eerie shadow over the entire investigation. The images didn't just corroborate his story, they deepened the mystery, leading investigators to grapple with the unsettling implications of a vessel that refused to fit neatly into the annals of history. Initially, the police were skeptical of Nathan's account, but the compelling photographs he presented shifted their attitude from suspicion to intrigue. The intricate symbols etched into the submarine's walls and the vessel's unexpected location in the heart of the rainforest piqued their curiosity. What initially seemed like an outlandish claim was quickly becoming a puzzle too complex to dismiss. After hours of relentless questioning, the police reluctantly released Nathan, cautioning him to remain available for further interrogation. As he left the station, his thoughts churned with the surreal events of the day. He knew his involvement with the mysterious submarine was far from over. Determined to uncover the truth, the police reached out to a historian with expertise in wartime artifacts. This historian was known for his ability to unravel the hidden stories behind relics of the past. As he examined the photographs of the submarine's symbols, his expression shifted from professional detachment to genuine astonishment. Several of the symbols matched those associated with a shadowy group known for covert operations during World War II. Yet seeing them inscribed within a submarine buried in the jungle left him baffled. The historian provided context for some of the symbols, linking them to secret missions and classified projects. However, his explanations were incomplete. His hesitance suggested he might be withholding certain details, either due to uncertainty or fear of revealing too much. Each deciphered symbol added another piece to the puzzle, but the overall narrative of the submarine remained elusive. His partial revelations only deepened the enigma, leaving investigators to grapple with more questions than answers. Among the artifacts retrieved from the submarine, a tattered diary surfaced, belonging to one of its crew members. The diary, its pages yellowed and fragile, chronicled a covert mission that was absent from any known military records. The entries were written in a hurried, almost paranoid script, reflecting the urgency and secrecy surrounding the operation. The sailor's words described a journey fraught with danger and shrouded in mystery. The submarine's destination and its ultimate purpose were unclear, but the diary hinted at a cargo of significant importance. The entries spoke cryptically of a burden of secrecy that weighed heavily on the crew. The sailor wrote of precautions that defied reason and orders that couldn't be questioned. While the exact nature of the cargo remained concealed, the sailor's tone suggested it was something extraordinary, perhaps even dangerous. One passage referenced a rendezvous that never occurred, suggesting the mission had gone awry. Another hinted at the crew's growing unease, as if they feared the very thing they were tasked with protecting. The diary's evocative descriptions painted a picture of a crew burdened by the knowledge of what they carried. One particularly haunting entry mentioned, "The weight of what lies in our hold is heavier than the steel of this vessel. It is not just cargo, it is a secret meant to remain hidden at any cost." These words hinted at an object or information of immense value, something powerful enough to justify the submarine's improbable journey to its final resting place. As the investigation progressed, the combination of the historian's insights and the sailor's diary began to sketch the outline of a story that defied conventional history. The submarine's mission appeared to transcend the ordinary scope of wartime strategy, hinting at clandestine agendas and concealed truths. The juxtaposition of modern technology within an antique vessel suggested a history that stretched well beyond the confines of World War II, raising unsettling questions about who would use the submarine and for what purpose. Meanwhile, Nathan's role in uncovering the mystery did not end with his release. As news of the discovery spread, his photographs and first-hand account became invaluable to the investigation. Though initially reluctant to share more, Nathan's curiosity grew with each revelation, and he found himself drawn deeper into the mystery. He began to see the submarine not just as an artifact, but as a vessel of secrets, its walls inscribed with a story that the jungle had hidden for decades. The submarine, once a silent relic, now spoke volumes. The symbols, maps, and diary entries were pieces of a greater narrative waiting to be pieced together. As investigators delved further into its secrets, they realized that the submarine might hold answers not just about the past, but about forces and agendas that continued to shape the present.